but why do we actually need a guru? Lord is there, Krishna is there, Krishna Mande Jagat Guru. So why do we need guru in between? Generally, the middleman is seen as someone not essential.
True.
Yeah. So how does a guru play a role? What is his qualification per se?
Well, it's like this. When we look at ourselves, for instance, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that famous verse, Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yamanam jara. We go through different phases in our life. We are born as infants, become children, grow up into young boys or young girls. Then we become adults. Finally, we grow old. Through all these things, whatever body we have, at that particular point of time, we identify ourselves with that. When we are in the child's body, we look at ourselves in the mirror and say that I'm a child. When I'm youthful, I look at myself in the mirror and I say I'm a youth. And when we grow old, like I'm an old man. So now, when I look at myself, I perceive myself as an old man. Now that body of the child or the body of the young person is no more there. Now the question is, am I the child? Or am I the infant? Or am I the young person? Or am I the old person? The reality is, we all know how Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, we are none of these things. This is just the body. Now the question is, if I am not the body, who am I? Have I ever seen myself? Reality is, in my conditioned state, I cannot even see myself. Am I making sense? My whole life, I have not seen myself. I've only seen the bodies at different stages and I've identified myself with the body. So if I cannot see myself, where is the question of seeing Krishna? Therefore, we need somebody to point out and show us, this is Krishna. Somebody to show us who we are. I am not the body. As long as we are in the bodily concept of life, as long as I'm under the misconception that I'm this body, there is no question of understanding Krishna. First step in self-realization is, first I have to understand who I am. I am not this body.
If I don't want to know who I am, then I don't require a guru.
You don't require a guru. You will require a guru for many other things. Even in the material world, if you want to learn something, you need a guru. All of us, none of us is born with a PhD degree in our hand. All of us are born in ignorance. That is why the Shastras also state that every living entity is born steeped in ignorance. And Janmana Jayate Shudraha, one is born an ignorant person. And Veda Pathat Bhaved Vipraha, one becomes a learned person, a scholar, by learning the Vedas. Similarly, even in the material world, nobody becomes an Einstein overnight. Even Einstein had to undergo a formal education to be, at least to a certain extent, to be able to think of the concepts he wanted to think of and come out with his various theories and all that. Fact is, we are all born ignorant, and unless we have some sort of formal education, we cannot think of acquiring any system of knowledge. It is all the more applicable for spiritual life, because spiritual knowledge is very, very intricate, very, very refined, and very, very subtle. Subtler than any of the scientific discoveries and knowledge that we come across in this material world. So, such a subtle system of knowledge, if somebody has to understand, it is not possible by oneself. One needs a person in knowledge to be able to open our eyes. For instance, all of us, we all grow up, millions of people, billions of people, trillions of people all over the world, over innumerable generations, have all grown up, have all been born as infants, grew up into small children, became young men, finally old. How many of them have thought, am I the child or the young man or the old man? We all blindly accepted it as this is how it is. We never thought for a second, am I the child or am I the young person, old person? Who am I? What am I? When we read Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, then that question comes to our mind that, yes, who am I? So, when I have not seen myself, then where is the question of seeing Krishna? When somebody who is very dear to me, who is very near to me, say my parents or my siblings or some friend or some uncle or somebody like that passes away, what do we say? Oh, this person has left us. Who left you? That body is still there. Now, if I ask you, that person whom you are calling your relative is right here. The body is right here. So who are you saying has left? You say, no, this is the dead body. The person who was in the dead body has left. So then find out where is that person who was in the body but has now come out of the body. Can you find out? You cannot find out. That means whole life you have been seeing the body, you never saw the person. I cannot see myself. I cannot see who are my near and dear ones. I can see only their bodies. So if this is true about simple living entities like us, then where is the question of understanding Krishna by ourselves? It requires a guru. Om ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana chalakaya. Guru opens our eyes. Otherwise, we are blind to all these facts in life. Every day, as Yudhishthir Maharaj says, ahanyahani gachantiha yamalayam. Every day we see people in front of us dying. But it never strikes us that I also have to die one day. Okay, when we go and attend some funeral ceremony, that thought might cross our mind. Life is so impermanent, temporary. We don't know when anything can happen. We will also have to die one day. The moment we step out of the cemetery, what happens? We pick up our phones and go back to our social media.
Smashana Vairagya.
This is called Smashana Vairagya. That Vairagya or renunciation is limited only to the cemetery. So, the reality is that even though these facts are right there in front of our eyes, we are blind to it. Tesham nidhanam pashyan napi na pashyati. So, pramattaha, we are all so mad, so insanely mad after sense gratification and bodily concept of life. We cannot see ourselves and we cannot see the reality which is happening right in front of our eyes. Therefore, to open our eyes is required a person who will shake us up, who will wake us up and tell, look at the harsh reality right there in front of you. Any moment you can die. You are not the body. Body will be destroyed. Avinashi tu tad vidiyena sarvam idam tattam. You cannot be destroyed. Vinasham avyayasyasya. Nobody can destroy you. You are indestructible, but the body is destructible.
These things are told by Krishna directly.
Yes.
Why can't I understand directly by Krishna?
Exactly. That is the whole point, that Krishna has spoken these words. To whom did Krishna speak these words? He spoke to Arjuna, who was spiritually a very elevated person. He already had an understanding of these subject matters. He was a greatly spiritually elevated person. Therefore, Arjuna could understand directly from Krishna. Arjuna could get Krishna as his spiritual master. In fact, the principle of accepting a spiritual master is exemplified by Arjuna himself. Because in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the whole conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, actual Bhagavad Gita starts from the point where Arjuna tells Krishna, Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. I am your disciple, you are my guru. Now please instruct me. Please reveal the truth to me. So the Bhagavad Gita, if somebody studies the Bhagavad Gita, then he has to pick up that principle. So from here only the beginning, Bhagavad Gita begins when I have a bona fide spiritual master. Then only spiritual knowledge transfer or revelation starts.